In other news today, Texas Attorney General and the Secretary of State continue their efforts to clean up Texas voter rolls.
But civil rights groups worry eligible voters may be prevented from casting their ballot. KVUE's Malia Masamoto joins us from the newsroom with more on what these advocacy groups are asking of state officials.
Brian Quita, the ACLU of Texas and several other advocacy groups are asking the Secretary of State to take back her request for help from federal immigration authorities to verify voters' citizenship status. Now, they say they are claiming that in addition to it not only violating federal law, it would also be discriminatory towards voters of color and naturalized citizens. Just 6 weeks out from Election Day, concern is growing about efforts to maintain Texas's voter registration rolls.
The Attorney General's pattern of launching investigations that are unfounded stoke fear for people in immigrant communities that are naturalized citizens and also for other voters of color.
Last week, Attorney General Ken Paxton sent Secretary of State Jane Nelson a letter urging her to get federal immigration authorities involved in verifying the citizenship status of about 1 million voters. He writes, quote, "As the 2024 election nears, no issue is more important than election integrity. As Secretary of State, you stand on the front lines of the battle to protect the sanctity of the ballot box." Nelson then sent a letter asking for help verifying immigration status for people who are registered to vote in Texas but haven't verified their status through DPS or another state agency. She writes that federal law requires Texas to perform list maintenance. But several civil rights groups are concerned about the timing of this potential voter roll purge.
Federal law, the National Voter Registration Act, prevents any mass voter purges from happening within 90 days of an election, which we are well within.
And just a month ago, Governor Abbott was touting the state's removal of about 1 million people from the rolls since 2021. He said about 6,500 of those were potential non-citizens. So these advocacy groups are worried that this push to clear out the voter roll is not all it seems.
The data can't even verify that the right people are being looked at, which would lead to incorrect results, and which is why federal law prevents mass voter purges from happening this close to an election because of the high risk that people will be incorrectly removed from voter rolls and prevented from voting.
We reached out to the Secretary of State's office and they said any list maintenance that they do is in compliance with state and federal law. Now, they have requested that this citizenship verification status information be returned to them by next Wednesday. Then once they get that information, it will be sent out to county voter registrars. In the newsroom, Malia Masamoto, KVUE News.